Hey everyone, it's Kwan here from the Australian Esports League. I'm here with Natty from IFM. I'm excited to bring you one of our first interviews where we showcase the players who are competing in the Call of Duty Mobile ANZ Community Challenge for 2021. Natty, tell us about yourself. How long have you been playing? What do you do? Who are you? Let everyone meet you.
All right, cool guys. My name is IFM Natty, or my real name is Sandeep, and I'm the IGL and captain of IFM Esports. We are a professional CoDM team. We've been playing for about eight months now, I would say, as a team. We've gone through many rosters, and I think most of the community knows us as one of the top teams in Oceania and in Asia. We have a roster that it comprises of players that are around New Zealand and Australia. We basically really love to play CoDM, and this is pretty much why we've been so dedicated to playing the game for such a long period of time. And basically, with this whole competition that's come up, we were actually in sort of retirement phase, if you would say. And then we got this great news that AEL was hosting the competition, and we were like, okay, I think this is one of the reasons why we should come back and actually compete in it. So far it's been so good. Like, we actually have not seen so many OCE teams come about in such a long time, and it's really nice to see all players come back into it. And I think it's rather refreshing knowing that for professional teams like us, we're finally given the opportunity to compete and actually earn a decent prize pool. So yeah, I think that's where we sit right now.
No, that's really awesome. So you mentioned that you're a professional team. How long has the team been together?
Wow, so we first started off playing as noobs in April
of 2020?
Yeah, last year. Yeah, so the game's only been around for like a year and a bit since the beta. And we pretty much were ranked warriors. So we didn't play competitively. We just used to play as 5 in ranked, which is just like a normal match, not competitive at all. And we literally just grinded until we got a name for ourselves as like the rank warriors in OCE. And then we decided that, hey, this game, there's nothing, like we hit the ultimate high, if you would say, in rank gameplay. So we decided to take it to the next level, and we started to play competitively.
And where was the first competition that you guys got into? Like, when you say competitively versus ranked, what was your first competition?
Oh, wow. So I think our first competition was like a $3 prize pool Indian tournament with like tier 2 and tier 3 teams. And we won it, and we were so excited. Like, we were so excited that we won our first tournament, even though it was playing against complete dogshit teams. But yeah, it was a $3 prize pool tournament. And after we won the tournament, the organizer was like, oh, cool, you guys won $3. How would you like us to transfer the money to you? And we were like, no, it's fine. Just give it to the next team that wins. But yeah, that was basically our first tournament that we ever played.
That's really cool. So I guess when you were playing ranked, what was the point for yourself that you said, hey, I might be good enough to go pro? Like, was it when you saw that you were at the top of the ladder, or was it just like you just had a gut feeling that, hey, I want to go and play comp. I'm built for this. I'm ready for this.
To be honest, it was more of like the game was getting a bit stale from a competitive perspective, I would say, because like I said, like there's not much competition in ranked. So I guess it was more of us wanting to be the best team in OCE. That was sort of like the catalyst. And then we saw our biggest competition at the time, or the best team at that time, which was Reaper Killers, or which is Mindfreak at the time, or right now. And these guys were literally like destroying it. Like, they were killing it in OCE. They were literally beating every single team. And then I think they were ranked 1 in Asia at that point of time. And we were like, damn, if these guys can do it, why can't we? You know? And then we put in, like, it was crazy. Like, the amount of hours we used to grind every single day. Like, I would come back from work at 7 o'clock, and we would start playing at like 7:30. We'll finish at 11 o'clock, and then we'll come back again, play from 12 o'clock, and we'll finish at 4 o'clock in the morning, okay? And 1 o'clock till 3 to 4 in the morning was just discussing strats. Like, we would rewatch our gameplay, analyze it, see how we could improve our strats, positioning. Like, we literally got deep into it, and within 2 weeks we beat the best team in
you
OCE.
beat them. You actually beat them.
We beat them in 2 weeks.
Hey,
in 2 weeks.
We
went from literally one of the worst teams in OCE, and in 2 weeks, okay, from like grinding like animals for 2 weeks, we actually beat them. Yeah.
You know, that's so impressive, right? Because I never would have thought in Call of Duty Mobile that there were teams practicing, like you're saying, like rewatching your match plays,
No, no one else does
analyzing
it.
it, strategizing. I mean, I imagine when you guys practice, you're not just like, oh, let's queue up and play. You're actually sitting there going,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to play. It's going to be hard point. It's, you know, like you're picking what it is and you go, all right, this is our strategy. Like this is
Yep.
how we're going to do it.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
so impressive because, like, I come from, you know, I play other games. I play Call of Duty Mobile now. I tell you now, Monkey Boy plays, who was one of the commentators, plays it religiously. And I met him when I was doing an event, and he was like, I was like, what are you playing? He's like, oh, Call of Duty Mobile. I was like, oh, yeah. He's like, you should pick it up. It's amazing. I was like, yeah. And I left it for ages, and then I picked it up around September last year. And I haven't put it down. Every day I'll play, like obviously do
So
dailies
addictive.
and stuff like that, right? But I don't play it like
Tell
you.
me how addictive it is. How
Yeah.
addictive is the game? Like seriously,
It's-
like
And you know what? It's got more features than Warzone. So, and I play Warzone as well, right? But,
totally.
but you know, when I played Counter-Strike and I was playing competitively, like I didn't get that high. I was like sort of intermediate team level. That's what we used to do. You know, we'd strategize, you'd rewatch your gameplay and so on.
Yeah.
And I never thought that would be, you know, and so it's so impressive to meet you guys and see you guys in competition. And I'm so grateful that you were competing and we get to showcase it for everybody. All right, so let's shift track, right? What's your favorite weapon in the game?
Wow. My all-time favorite gun was the RUS. But since it got nerfed, it not really got nerfed, it just fell out of meta, but now I'm sort of using the HVK. And I guess that's my favorite weapon for now, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, and is it because you like to do, like, are you more of a run and gun? You like to, like, what's your play style that it makes sense to?
I mean, my playstyle is to run around and kill people, but I take one for the team. So I'm literally the anchor, I'm the OBJ player, and I'm the entry fragger on S&D. So literally, I'm always the person who's going to bottom frag. I always have all the shit rolls, but it's because I'm the IGL of the team.
Yeah.
And I don't trust anyone else because everyone else in my team, they're all really young. So I sort of have to like take lead to show an example to these guys and do it like structurally sort of thing. So I guess that's why I'm leading my team, because everyone's much younger and I need to like sort of set a good path for them. Yeah.
No, that's
and
cool.
I guess that's one of the reasons why we're still like competing till now, you know, like, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know, the most important role in every team is the IGL. You know, it's obviously every role is important. Like you got to have a good fragger, good sniper, good, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? But IGL is it's like the glue. And if you don't have good glue, it doesn't matter how good everyone else is individually, it's just not going to work.
It won't work.
No, exactly. So that's really cool. Okay, so in terms of maps, right? Like if you had a preferred map and also game mode, like what do you find is your most enjoyable or your strongest game mode?
Well, I think honestly, from a competitive perspective, because I'm the IGL, the most fun is S&D because it's very strategic and you're always just trying to basically think about what your opponent is doing. And it's probably one of the only game modes where I can actually top frag in a game because I'm not the OBJ monkey, if you want to put it that way. Yeah, but I honestly really enjoy S&D. Like it's such it requires your IGL to think so much, you know, like you need to have a complete understanding of how the map runs and how do you counter certain strats if an opponent does something. So yeah, I just like the whole S&D aspect of the game.
I mean, for me, I love that too, right? Because it just harkens back to the many hours I spent on Counter-Strike, and you know, so it's like it's that same style, same thinking.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
and I love it. I actually prefer it to like hardpoint and all that stuff. Yeah, like it's all great, but this is like that's the one I find, like you said, there's so much strategy, there's deeper thinking, you need to coordinate.
Deeper thinking, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so if for everyone else that's watching or who may not have heard you, like what would you say to other players who are just coming into this, especially the newer players in the competition? You know, if this is something they wanted to pursue, like what kind of things would you say to them?
I think the first thing you have to do is to find a team with the same availability as you. I think that's one thing that is so very overlooked, because typically people will just get their friends, you know, they get their friends, everyone wants to play together. Yeah, that's cool. But the thing is, everyone's going to have a different availability. And sometimes each player will, I give you an example, like some players can only play like from 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock, and the rest of your team might only be able to play from 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock, and then all of a sudden you have 4 players on. So like try to structure your team around the availability first. And then the second thing I would say is to basically start fixing your loadouts. Then you can start thinking about strats on different game modes, for example. And I think that's the very basic thing you need. Like availability, I honestly think availability is the most important thing. Like in my team, everyone can play at the same time. And we only ever play the same 5 people. That's it. We never play with the sub. Like very, 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 very rarely, unless someone has like an emergency. But from April all the way till maybe September when we lost our first player, it was literally playing with the same 5 people. And that's how we got so good.
Yeah, so you guys
Playing
would
with
have
the same
gelled,
5
right?
people. Sorry?
You guys would have gelled a lot, and you like that.
Yeah,
that's where the
it's
teamwork
team
comes
chemistry.
from, right?
Yeah, that's the team chemistry. Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
So you talk about loadouts, right? And when you say that, that's saying like, one person's loadout's going to have these items in it. The next person's loadout's going to have these items. So you have someone who can always counter, or just options for your strategy, right? Like you don't want everybody with Molotovs. Like that's a bit basic, or even their kill streaks. You need to think of what kill streaks everyone has. So
Exactly.
like someone has to have a sand
like-
battery, right? So
Yeah, exactly. Like you got it spot on. So like, without telling too much detail, like I would set everyone's classes up depending on the game, the map and game mode. So like example, if it's Dom firing range, like you would need like maybe 3 people using trophy systems. Maybe these days everyone uses a thermite, so that's compulsory. And then maybe 2 more. One guy who uses like a gas grenade, and 1 guy uses smoke. So it's very structured sort of thing. Like when 2 people, like at the start of the round, everyone knows what they're supposed to do. Like I would typically not say anything when we start the game because everyone knows what they're supposed to do at the start of the game. And then how it develops after that, that's when the IGL comes in. But basically, you need to sort out your score streaks. Score streaks are even more important because these days people use persistence. Yeah, and then you've got the whole persistence things. Then you got to think about using low score streaks against heavy score streaks. And then you've got your war machines or your kill streaks. On the other hand, that's also really important. Like you gotta know what are the meta kill streaks. So there's a lot of thinking and detail that goes into it. In other words, like you really got to think about how the game plays, how the map and game mode plays, and then tailor how your loadouts and your score streaks and your kill streaks are around that map.
and that's really that's really what makes like the difference between where your team is at. Like yes, there's practice, there's strategy, but it's also thinking all the way back down to what is your loadout, the composition of your team, right? It all comes together. So thanks for sharing that. Like that's probably gold advice for a lot of the new teams to go, oh my gosh, I need to think about that, right? So in terms of this competition, right, it's really the first of its kind in the country. It's supported by Activision, which we're really grateful that we get to work with them doing this. It's a really wonderful community. I've had a great experience, bringing the tournament to the community. And also I play, so it's like a match of 2 worlds. But when you think of a competition like this, how important is it to a team like yourself and the community as a whole? Because obviously, for you guys to succeed, you need a thriving competitive scene of other teams to verse and play against, right? So, what does a competition like this mean to you?
Honestly, it's the first time I've seen so many teams being able to compete in a tournament, which is so nice to see. You have no idea how nice. It's not even about just having so many teams. It's about having a tournament for the first time. Like so exciting. Like we have never had that opportunity. Like most countries around the world or regions, Asia specific. Like you look at India. India has a massive CoDM society or group, if you want to call it. And OC has always had, I would say, one of the best talents in the world. Like not just from us, but from Mindfreak as well. Like honestly, we have some of the best players in the world, and it's such a blessing to give us the opportunity to actually compete. And for once, people look at the way we play and take us seriously, because now we finally have serious money in these tournaments, which is so nice to see. Like, you have no idea. Like, imagine our team came out of retirement just to play this tournament. Like, in December, we all said we were done, because basically competing as a professional team from OCE revolves around you playing in Indian tournaments. And playing in Indian tournaments means that you are constantly playing on anywhere between 90 to 120 ping. And if you have played a first-person shooter game, a fast-paced shooter game, that means that you're literally getting 1 to 2 tapped with a gun, and it was very frustrating. Like, and especially playing in OC now, imagine we gotta play on 30 ping. Do you know how ridiculous that is? Like, you have no idea how happy we are playing on 30 ping. Like, it's insane. Like, playing on 30 ping, it's so smooth. Like, yeah, it's just, yeah, I honestly, like, I'm so excited to play this tournament. You have no idea.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Yeah.
That's so incredible to hear, because like for me, you know, I started the AEL because I just wanted to nurture community and bring players together doing something they love, right? So hearing all of this is like just such a good, like, it just, you know, it's so positive to know. And I'm really psyched to let you know that there's more than one season. And I know.
It
That's only gets awesome. Bigger.
Yeah.
It just gets bigger and bigger from here, right? So it's good. What I would love to see is to try and link up other regions where we start to have like there's the world champs. That's great, right? But you know, this kind of stuff happening where, you know, we have extra stuff on the side where you get to verse each other, you know, region to region at live events and stuff like that. You know, that would be incredible too. Well, look, I won't take up much more of your time. I'm really, really grateful we got to chat. I'm sure we will talk more as we play over the comp. I definitely encourage everyone who's watching this interview to keep an eye out on IFM. They were so incredible in week 1 of what we streamed. I think they're a top team for the finals. I can't be too biased, but I think, and you guys definitely put the hard work in. Any last words or shout out you want to give out to anyone in the community?
Honestly, I just want to shout out to my boys, Danger, Rezi, Fighter, Compact. You guys have been amazing. Just keep grinding, and we will get there. We'll get there, and we'll hopefully see you guys in the finals, I guess. Yeah. And also thanks to everyone who supported us over the last few months. Like, our community has grown so much over the last few months, and literally, like, all the people who have been watching our live streams when we play competitively, it's just like, it's amazing. Like, we always get the same bunch of people that come in week after week or day after day after day, and we can't be any more grateful to you guys.
Awesome.
So yeah.
No, yeah, that gratitude just speaks volumes for you and the team. Yeah, do you stream? Is there somewhere people can follow you on Twitter? Do you have a tag?
We have our Instagram page that we started like 3 months ago, but it's been sort of inactive. We have a Discord server which is really active. Like, you can find us on Discord or you can find us on Instagram, but Instagram has been sort of inactive now because we retired. But now since we're coming back, we're probably going to bring it back up again. But yeah, you can find us on Instagram and Discord. Yeah,
I'll link it below so that everyone can find it and just go to it. Thank you so much, Natty. Thank you everyone who's watching this. I hope you've all learned something. I hope you all got to meet Natty and you found something new about him and the team IFM. Once again, thank you to Activision. Thank you to all the players competing in the league and everybody who's been watching and following. I'm Quan. This is Natty, and I'll see you for the next time.
All right. Thanks, guys. Cheers.